Screw it, I'll do it live. Yeah. Screw it, I'll do it live. This is that weird moment in between. Like, is this thing on?
Yes, it is.
It's just a bunch of faces staring at the screen and be like, no, we're live now. We're live.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yes, it is.
Which we are. Oh, hello, Void.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And we are here for a live playtest and playthrough of our new and currently ongoing for the next 10 days at least Kickstarter, Secrets from an Old Shoebox. Hello.
Yay!
Hello, audience.
Hello, hello.
My name is Jay Underwood. I'm the designer and creator of the game. Together with me is my co-host on the podcast, TTRPG, Sandra Rosner.
Hello.
And we have two guests who I'll allow them to introduce themselves.
Sure. Hi, everybody. Hello, Void. My name is Malachi Lily, they, them pronouns. I'm a writer. I'm a forever DM, GM, and you can find my work on Substack at The Magic Artist.
Yay.
Anything coming out in the next couple of days, weeks, months?
Well,
that you're willing to say?
Yeah. Well, I actually this week just shared with the Substack world the first sentence of my novel. So I have started working on that. It's been a multi-year world-building project that is now becoming chapters. So I'll be sharing snippets of that in the coming months, weeks, years.
Yay.
Decades.
Sometimes it takes that long.
Actually, I have a deadline. It will be, yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to throw shade
awesome.
at the people who are taking years and years and years and years to finish certain series, but, you know, it takes a while.
Labor of love.
Yep.
Mr. Martin, J.R.R. Martin. And speaking of voids, the pink void in one of the corners of the stream right now is...
I am David from the Pink Void. Hello, Void. Everyone else that is video. I too am a writer. I am a writer of short fiction, and I have just completed first draft of a novel, which I will be putting out to friends and family for feedback shortly, and hopefully to the world within the year.
Yay! Deadlines.
It is a ghost story of a different type.
It is really cool.
Hopefully.
As somebody who's in this critique group, it's amazing. I should also mention that
we were having some video issues.
Sorry! I wanted to also say that ZD Gladstone was supposed to be as well, but due to travel plague, she had to regrettably drop.
A mixture of corn cooties and travel plague, or this was travel plague? This one.
Full-on travel plague.
Reprocessed. Recycled air.
Yay!
Well, why don't we just jump right into it, because this game is very easy. It doesn't require any rules explanation at all, other than the small things that I will have to explain as we go into each scene. So that's a lie. It's not, there's no rules explanation. But what we can do is just begin playing. And those are my favorite types of games, rather than trying to have to explain, what THACO is.
Yeah. Oh, we're going old school.
Yeah, all right. So, what we're going to do is tell a story of a character called the Poet. In order to do that, we're first going to have to create memories for this character. Memories that one might find in a shoebox, box in an attic, keepsake, anything like that. I'm sure maybe you all have one. I'm sure as I do. That's full of my old baby photos and graduation pamphlets and letters from grandma and things like that. So before we started recording, I hope you've prepared a few books, bits of realia, menus, whatever it is, so that you have nearby.
Yep.
And what we're going to do is take a few minutes to I won't be playing the game, but rather, or GMing, but by just sort of facilitating the game that the three of you, the story that you will be playing, as to stay sort of unbiased here. This is a three-step process. The first step of which is called notes, memos, and letters. So if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to have the three of you just rummage through your the things that you've prepared, and find small passages in them, simply by kind of paging through and maybe stopping at a random page and finding a particular passage that stands out that somebody might have memorized or found poignant in their life. But not only just poignant, things that are also mundane, the little strange earworms that stick in your head from comedy shows and what have you. And just make a little memo down on a sheet of notepad or notepad or on your phone, and make as many of them as you can within a short period of time. Let's say 3 to 5 minutes. And maybe just write the name of the book and then the page number so you can then access it later. It would probably take too long to write down the full passages. All right, makes sense?
Yep. Okay.
Cool. In the meantime, for anyone that may be listening at the moment, what this is a bit difficult to simulate over a digital medium, but this game is designed to be something of an analog experience, and when players sit around a table and grab these books and novels, to have them out as artifacts, as physical objects, to be paging through them, adds a sense of coziness, in my opinion, that players should also be playing some sort of music in the background to help to kind of pull out or incept ideas of the character that they're going to create. This is a character called the Poet. Questions that they might want to ask themselves are things like, what is a poem or a piece of narrative literature that the poet had found interesting? What is something off of the internet that they might have liked, a meme or a note or a letter that they kept? All of the things that they're writing down now not need be from the books that they have chosen, but they could be completely original if they wanted to. Another thing that they might be able to think about is the things that might be part of the serendipitous discovery of finding small objects within a junk drawer or an attic or the back of a closet, the small maps, old directions, a bookmark that might have something strange written on it, an old password, a random joke, the things that we might just keep for whatever reason. And while they are searching, if the players wouldn't mind maybe even giving a reference to some of the selections that they've made, just out of curiosity, what books / reality objects have you chosen?
As we were talking about before we were recording, I am that animal fact kid. Just gonna come up to you and give you a random animal fact. So I have my Into the Deep book, this beautiful female anglerfish. She's the female because she's the large one, as the males are tiny and latch on, and their bodies dissolve until they're only gonads. And that's a free fact for you. I also have Pollen, the Hidden Sexuality of Flowers. I'll have to pull from that next. And then I have a poetry / folklore book called The White Goddess, about the moon goddess of European folklore and how she still lives through poetry. And then finally, I have my little pocket oracle, Sappho Mantion, which actually uses a die that you roll 3 times and then you get a line of Sappho's poetry. And I use this divination tool quite often, and so I thought she'd be perfect for this night.
Game within a game.
Yeah,
I like that big tome that you have as well. That seems to have has gotten a lot of love.
Yeah, I am a margins writer. I have my own key of different symbols that I use when I'm going through a book. So she's very marked up.
I've got a copy of Alan Moore's Jerusalem on the desk next to me, which is this massive, heavy hardback. It's just about to break my desk, I think. Sandra, David, what have you brought?
I will tell you the three things from the Pink Void that I have. The first one is a cookbook from approximately 1956 called To You Are Best. It is a collection of the best recipes from the kitchens of business and professional women of Hibbing, Minnesota, and their friends. So
How
I'll be using the
charming.
dedication
Specific.
of that cookbook. So
Excellent.
Hibbing, way up north, I think that's the Iron Range. Another one, the other Train Dreams by Dennis Johnson. Currently out, I believe, on Netflix. So Dennis Johnson, a favorite writer. The other one is a real estate marketing magazine called American Lifestyle, and it is a story, specifically a story kind of pitching Pella, Iowa. So I have a Midwest slant for me tonight.
It's very charming. Charming is the right
Excellent.
word for your selections. I'm all over the place.
I was just brought to mind of like famous Twilight Zone episode, like To Serve Man. It's like it's a cookbook.
It's a cookbook.
It's a cookbook. They keep getting on a spaceship.
Sandra, what did you prepare?
All right. I whipped out one of my history books, which is the Cydia of Ugarit. Fun little whatnot. Then I went to The Complete Metalsmith, which is like another one of these jeweler references that you start out with. If anybody is interested in becoming a jewelry, this is the book to get, by the way. It even teaches you how to make a jeweler's bench. Then I've got The Best Easy Day Hikes, Mount Rainier National Park.
Classic.
And because I had such a good time with our last playthrough, I grabbed a different copy of Weird New Jersey magazine.
Hell yeah.
And that is my selection for
It seems
today.
our poet may have been well traveled.
Yeah, right?
Well, it's interesting. What we're doing right now is not necessarily one of the intended effects of the game design of Secrets of an Old Shoebox. However, it's become through playtesting. I think one of my favorite parts is just simply sharing the literature that people seem to like or have or sort of bring to the table that already starts to seem to elicit the potential ideas that might be coming up in this story. So I'll give you guys maybe another 2 minutes to come up with as many as you can. There are still 2 more rounds of this prelude before we then begin the kind of narrative writ large. One of the things that I liked doing, this is very much an homage to the game Bring Your Own Book, which is also a very fascinating and fun game that you can do with very little prep. That is a game to, not to shout out other games, but why not, where players bring their own book and you start off with a prompt that is something like the final words that a clown might say. And then everyone just grabs a random book, begins to flip through. When one person finds a possible answer, everyone else has then 1 more minute to then find an answer. And then you all read out what a line from a random book, Don Quixote or the Bible or whatever, that then would connect to the final lines a clown might say or something like that, which is very fun indeed. What we're doing by drawing these passages out from the mundane to the profound is to create something that this character, the prophet, might have saved somewhere in an attic. Who this person is, we do not know yet. That will be up to our players and the random choices that they make along the way. All right. Do we need any more time? I'm starting to feel like a weird game show host at the moment.
I mean, you are a little bit tonight.
I want to play the Jeopardy theme in the background. It's just do. All right, contestants, let's see how much you've wagered.
Oh no, the whole house.
Yeah, it hasn't been the same with any of the new hosts, sadly, but what are you gonna do?
All right, I am done.
Pencils down.
Pencils down.
Pencils down. Well, we can move on to the next phase if you still have some ideas. Multitask is all good. All right, so let us move on to phase 2. You will be doing the same thing, still just creating a list of reference points. However, this time you are creating musical selections. What you need to do is, if you need to access the internet, you could simply just write down the name of an artist and a particular song. It could be from, Fleet Foxes' Mykonos to Ravel's Piano Concerto Second Movement to AC/DC's Back in Black, but whatever you want. Just write down an artist and a song. The idea is that this is an abstraction of a thing that might be found in an attic box, i.e., oh, here's an LP of this song. Here's a cassette tape of this song. You might even want to write down something that you might have in your own keepsake box of a cassette tape that you have kept for whatever reason, couldn't want to throw away. Original Paul Simon single or something like that, whatever. You'll have less time on this one. Maybe 2 or 3 quick songs is enough. Another way to reframe this question might be if you were asked the desert island question, what are some of the pieces that you might bring to the desert island that you want to listen over and over again? Or not necessarily you, but this character that we're forming the baseline of. Now, one of the options that I've skipped over for the purpose of this playtest is that what we could have done as a group, and people who own the game will see within the structure of the rules, that we could have chosen a specific genre element at the beginning of the game that said, okay, we're going to make a horror story. And that might influence all the choices that they would have been making through paging through the books and choosing musical selections to lean into horror. But I'm leaving it open-ended to see what we get.
Like, I'm drawing such blanks about songs. Why, brain? Spit some out.
With 3 very distinct personalities, I'm sure we're going to get some very interesting combinations.
I'm throwing an evil one in.
Well, one of the last playtests we did, one of the characters wrote something down like the Ampanman theme song, like a theme song from a children's television show in Japan. Like, those are something that you might find in an attic, a little LP of Mary Poppins or something like that. All right. Sandra, do you need a little bit more time?
I'm writing it down.
You're writing it down. Malachi, Dave, how are you doing?
I'm good.
I think one way to sort of ensure that this for the purposes of this live stream, kind of, pushing us through these sections, but again, this can be extended for as long or as short a period of time as you like. Perhaps an egg timer is an essential object for ensuring that it doesn't last, hours, because it very much could. Which moves us on to the final step here, which is now we're creating another abstraction. This is we are creating a list of objects / photos or doodles that might be found in the shoebox. So in this situation, rather than accessing the reality that you found, you would simply write down what is the object, followed by a short descriptive phrase as to what it is about, i.e., keychain, from the Isle of Mykonos, or candle holder or baby photo, just the objects that might be found with a small little descriptive phrase as it. If it's a photo, you could even go on to make a small doodle, like with stick figures, as to who might be in the photo, but don't specify any particular characters at the moment. You could just draw 2 stick figures holding hands, or in a car, or to simulate that this would be an actual photo.
Ooh.
If you happen to be a pretty good artist, then
Oh, someone here
Go to town.
might very well be.
High possibility of frogs.
I'm not going to give context.
Yeah, good. For inspiration, simply think about some of the things that you might have in your closet or your shoebox that if you were to rummage through, oh, here's a birthday card from an aunt. Here's a baby shoe, never worn.
Oh, God. The saddest, shortest story ever. Oh.
Yeah.
I think last time we did a live stream, that was one of the jokes, wasn't it? I think that's apocryphally connected to Hemingway, isn't it? Like for sale, baby shoes never worn. And I said I got one that's like 3 words shorter. That's even sadder. It's like for sale, baby.
Oh my God.
Sorry. Ignore the peanut gallery. And once you have maybe 2 or 3 objects, we will move on to the final phase of the prelude and then move into the game proper, which is the kind of main play loop of the game. One might attribute this to a similar process within more standard RPG games of the character creation process in a way. But rather than going through like 5th E and saying, okay, what, what class do I want? What color eyes do I want? And things like that. We're here coming up with all of the potential backstory that may not be directly related to the character, aka the poet, but at least somehow tangentially related to their life. All right. Anyone need more time?
Nope. Got it.
Okay. So now you probably have a list of maybe 8 to 15 things, maybe more, written down on a piece of paper. If you could please just maybe label them from like 1 to 10 so that we could access them later and do a kind of a randomization. Since in a real version of this game, these objects would all then be put on scrap pieces of paper and then thrown into the box so that they can be randomly drawn. Since we're doing this on a digital medium, that's impossible. So we're sort of going to analog it here. And then what all players can do is, then now go back, try to clear your mind of the things that you've just written, and now amend or change some way all of the things that you've done. If you've written down a page number, you could choose to change the page number. You can write a comment next to the page that is like amazing or wonderful or never forget this passage, or the things that one might write on these objects that are in a shoebox, the things that might have changed over the years, that at one point it was put in there at a certain age, that later it was revisited, changed, and then come back. one of the things that I did on a last play test was create a photo of two characters. When I amended it, I then scratched out the face of one of the characters. So a good idea is to write down maybe initials that could be interpreted as to a person, or small comments or numbers that could allude to potential phone numbers, addresses, things like that. So just go back for each of them and just make a small 1 or 2 word amendment to them, and then we will proceed.
Claire,
Generally, how
just for the object or for the passages too?
for everything, yeah.
For
The manner in
everything,
which
okay.
you amend them for the passages and the objects may be somewhat different. For the object, you could add an idea. Say, let's say you wrote a keychain and it's from an aisle. You might add but it's a broken keychain now. You've added an adjective to change the object somehow. Again, we're simulating what's happens in the real game, which is that once players have done, they then will pass them around to other random players, who then the other players would then amend them, and so but we're having our writers here with their wonderful skill sets create their own adaptation. This is, in a sense, weathering these objects through the passage of time, or a thing, a piece of song that at one point you thought was wonderful and then terrible, or that was terrible and then came around to really enjoying and making that memo that, but also trying to short circuit your brain in the sense that maybe you've forgotten what actually the passage was that you've written down, and how can I sort of get in the way of my own original intent of what I was writing down in the first place.
And I should have warned my co-players and stuff. If you hear me make random statements, I'm not talking to myself. I'm interacting with chat. So if I forget to mute and I just say some random thing, I swear I'm not talking to the demons in my head.
Unless.
Well, yeah, right.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, it could be.
Yeah, you keep telling us that.
Yeah, you guys know me entirely too well, too, right? Yeah.
Well, I personally think demons have probably modernized and are lurk in chat more than they do in our brains these days.
I mean, it is the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
They have been released.
21st century demons.
Well, though this live stream has been front loaded with me doing much of the talking, in the second half it's going to now transition to the players who are doing the storytelling. I just had the guidance through the process. That is all written in the book, and how to do all this type of thing in more gloriously, hopefully well written detail. All right. Do we need any more time?
Just about done.
I'm good.
Okay.
All right. So Malachi, how many items do you have? That includes everything from the first steps that we've done.
Okay. I have 20 altogether.
Jeez.
Great. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Great. And David, how about you?
I capped it at 10.
Okay. Sandra?
Oh, I'm always the underachiever. I'm at 9. I overthink it too much, I think.
9. All right. What would happen then is a series of cards, and all of these prompts would then be thrown into the shoebox, mixed up a little bit, and we now begin the story proper. Well, and who would like to kick us off here? Who would like to be the first player? Perhaps the last player to look at a photo album, or have a moment of nostalgia or something like that.
I'll start.
Yeah.
All right. So at the beginning of the game, what you would all be given is 2 cards. And so I'm going to flash these cards for you, maybe just make a memo of them, and then you can access the PDF that you were sent prior to the recording to see what they refer to, what need and motivation they refer to. Yeah?
Okay.
Of course, maybe don't say to the other. I guess you could all see the card, but okay.
Everyone, close your
Mal-
eyes.
Oh right, yeah. Maybe close your eyes because the reveal might be something of a fun. So this is secretive information. So, okay, Malachi, here are your two cards that you're given. Here's the first one,
Okay.
and the second one.
Oh.
Okay, David. Here's yours.
I'm not looking, I promise.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking off to the side.
Okay, and the second one. Okay, Sandra.
All right.
Here's your first one.
Mm-hmm.
And your second one.
All right.
Okay. Okay, Malachi. So we'll begin with you. This is the general gameplay loop, and for every player, you'll follow the same process. But essentially, you're in narrative charge of the situation. But the way the role play is the way the role play happens is via discussing this object and what you think may have happened. The idea is to pull out a feeling of when a bunch of friends or old friends sit around and talk about a memory that happened in the past that they vaguely remember, and so you're kind of pulling it out about this person that you may have known, who is the poet. At any time, any character or any player rather in the game can name or give a name to the characters, or they could describe them obliquely via the words the poet, other, or the chorus. All right, so first we need to draw a prompt from the box. To do that, what you can do is Sandra has 9 things. Malachi has, well, you wouldn't want to choose any of your own. Let's choose either 1 to 10 from David or 1 to 9 from Sandra.
Choose from 1 to 9.
Okay, and which number would you like from 1 to 9? This is as good as rolling a dice in this stage, but this is simulating drawing something randomly out of the box.
Okay. Yeah, just wanted to be clear who I'm pulling from. Let's go. Lucky number 7.
Okay, Sandra. So
Oh
the
God.
card that you would read, and you would have the option to either read this aloud or to keep it secret while you think about your idea. Why don't you read what you've written down for your 7th prompt, Sandra?
Okay, 7th prompt is the final countdown, then a dash, theme party 80s.
You say that again?
The final countdown, theme party 80s. And it was just kind of like scribbled on a piece of paper that was like torn, just kind of thrown in there like a reminder.
The final countdown. Yep.
Works on many levels.
All right. Yes. Next, Malachi, do you happen to have a D6
Yes.
nearby? Yeah. Okay. Can you roll that D6 twice?
4, 6.
All right. So the way the narrative is structured into 3 sections: an early period, a middle period, and a late period. One might think of these 3 periods as like the poet's early age, mid age, late age, if you wanted to tell a story that shows the progressions of a life towards death. But it's more abstracted to the sense of the late period is the periods leading to the last object that was placed in the box prior to you as characters opening the box and revealing the things that are inside. So where this object falls is the final object of the middle period, so prior to the late period. So it would be the like if in a 3-act structure, the last scene of the 2nd act essentially is this song, or whatever medium, since the medium has not been described yet. Okay. Now you need to play one of the 2 cards that you've had. So looking at your cards, you will play one of those cards and you will choose an active or a passive agent. And by that I mean like the active agent is the person who's acting in the scene, that is that has that need and the motivation to do a thing with this song, or a passive agent in which some other active agent is acting upon via this song. And now this is open for discussion if you like. So you could say, "Oh, I have this," and this is where part of the role play begins, which is you just trying to discover and piece together this life that you're now discovering.
Yes. And to clarify, this actually wasn't in the song category. It was an object. It was like something written on paper, or was it about the song specifically? Because it was also an 80s themed party, just to clarify for you, Sandra.
So this particular item was, let's see how, a piece of notebook paper torn about a third of the way down the page, and this was just very hastily scrawled on it, like they discovered that this party was going to happen.
Okay.
I should say there's an exclamation point, so there seems to be some excitement.
Some excitement, but it's also torn away, like it was one of many ideas.
Oh, interesting.
Perhaps favorited, but one of many. And I'm supposed to connect it to one of my cards, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So what was the need or motivational element that was sort of the backstory behind this being placed in the box in the first place? And then looking at the suit, this will help you to establish a sort of character within the scene.
Okay. So this was something that the poet was responsible for. They were responsible for putting on this party. But I think it never came to fruition.
Aww. Well,
And now, Sandra and David, you're welcome to jump in and throw your own ideas into this moment, because now this is part of the scene. Because you can imagine yourselves now having this story, and you're saying, "Oh, yeah, I remember this. This was the party that so and so had thrown." But perhaps you remember it a little bit differently, David or Sandra. What can you add to this moment? And you continue to throw ideas off each other.
I feel like it was a bit of a bummer. Like, it was supposed to be a really big deal, and a bunch of people like canceled in the last minute. So it still happened, but it was just like a very toned back. Like, all the decorations were amazing. There's like, black light stuff, or all the great like neon theme stuff. But it was only for like 9 people.
Can I throw something in?
Please.
I want to know. I think the poet was asking himself, "What the hell happened?"
Aww.
But it was all teed up. How could this happen? So I'm getting a sense of dismay. Like, how did this happen?
Yeah. I don't think this was a house party either. They like rented a space.
Oh, that's even worse.
This party. Yeah. They couldn't go hide in their room. This is a space that was rented, and yet.
You know what? I just have this sense that it should have worked. Like, who doesn't like a good 80s party? But I bet there was some other event going on across town.
Excellent. We are not complete. We're not complete yet. There are with each memory that is drawn from the box. There's also unforeseen or potentially foreseen events that happen. Malachi, could you please roll 2 more d6 and let me know what your results are?
3, 1.
3 and 1. Okay. This is you rolled a unforeseen or foreseen social event. And what the second number will refer to is the lower the number, the worse it is. The better the number, the potentially better the event is. And so since you rolled a 1,
nat 1,
it's pretty
what
bad.
happened?
The social event is the event somewhat surrounds a divorce or breakup.
Oh.
Oh, so okay. The poet and their beloved originally planned this party together, but there was a breakup, and kind of like the poet inherited the party, but all the friends chose their ex's kind of side, and so they had like a rival party and all went to the ex's party and didn't come to
Oh.
this, and like the ex's party was like the opposite in aesthetic almost. It's not like the X had like a bigger, brighter neon party. The X did like a very sophisticated like house like dinner party, and everyone's like, aren't we so glad that like we didn't do that tacky 80s thing, like we're grown-ups and we're having a grown-up party, like oh, if only my Ex would grow up.
Cheese plates.
Cheese plates.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
chose
yeah.
the cheese plates. Oh. All right. Well, we got the solid drama
Usually
now.
Rules as written in the rule book have that what this situation should be happening while the song in question is played in the background as well as part of the memory. Obviously, for copyright purposes, we can't do that. But
We'll
you can
get
imagine it in your
takedown.
head. I can already see the scene. Yeah. Excellent. So we've already established two characters now, the poet and a single other who is a potential love interest or sort of ex-love interest, which then a comma will be placed on a player A to indicate a relationship between the poet and the other. In this case, there are four options: loving, close, strained, or broken. The event indicates that it's broken, so the relationship at this point in the poet's life is placed firmly in the broken category. There we go, and that is basically one round of play. We will now repeat the process. Dave, why don't you go next and choose something from either Malachi or Sandra's selection, and we'll find another memory in the poet's life.
Okay.
Again, the poet can be named or given a name at any time as it feels appropriate.
Okay. So my just for clarification, if I say Sandra, what is your number 6?
Mm-hmm.
And
she would pull something out of the box. Yeah.
Okay. Sandra, number 6.
Okay.
All right. Well, you're getting my drawing. This poor poet. Okay, my camera is inverted, unfortunately, but so I'm gonna read what's written on it. It says, "You're one in a million." This was a birthday card or a celebration card. It's got like a pot of gold and then a rainbow. Except somebody who gave this to, assumedly the poet, wrote "you" and then aimed it away from the pot of gold. And then there's a follow-up, probably from in a different handwriting, that just says "asshole" in response.
Okay, so now you have to either determine or roll. Every time there's a dice roll, you can choose instead to choose a time in the player's life. For Malachi's, it was the first card, so I didn't want to overwhelm with potential rules, so it's just randomize it. But now, David, you can sort of choose to roll to find a period in time of which this photo may have come from, or you can choose where it would come from.
Malachi, can I impose on you to roll the... Sorry.
Oh, no. Yeah, I can roll for you if you'd like.
Yes, please.
Okay, let's do it. 4 from the middle period again. And 5. Okay, so this is happening at the same time as the party. However, since it's happening at the same time, it's not. This has to establish a secondary thread. Okay, so this is not necessarily connected to the party, but it's happening alongside the party.
Oh.
Okay.
All right, so now using your 2 cards that you have in hand, you establish an active or passive agent and a intended need motivation.
Okay. 6. And I'm looking at the motivation of the poet really being anxious, and
Mhm.
that there is somebody else in the background of the poet, and nobody knows about the other person. There's a relationship there. So the party, as imploding as it is and disappointing as it is, the poet is wondering if this is a karmic response because of the feelings he has towards this other person in the relationship, alternate relationship, other the other person.
And feel free, Sandra and Malachi, a la a bunch of friends having a conversation around coffee, that you could jump in like, well, wasn't it this that happened? And
Um, to clarify, David, our poet is feeling like it's karmic because they had feelings for someone else while dating
Yes.
the fancy ex.
Fancy X. Love it.
Fancy
Yes.
ex.
One you can't get out of your mind, that just always lingers in the background.
we have a love triangle.
Ooh. So what if the 80s theme
I've
wasn't
seen
for
it
the X,
recently.
but it was for this other
What's that?
person? The 80s
Feelings
party.
are not gone. Yeah, their feelings are not gone from the ex.
Mm.
I see. The card, I feel like if anyone else were to pick up this card, they would look at it and be like, oh, that's kind of mean. But it's actually an inside joke between our poet and like
hmm
the other person that they have feelings with. You know, like the asshole is actually really endearing. Um
Yes.
and this love interest is like really silly and kind of crass, and they like don't really care what other people think about them, which is like the opposite of what the fancy X is like.
Oh.
You're a real pot of gold, you asshole.
And the
Just like-
ex likes cheese trays.
yeah, it dislikes cheese trays.
like because it's like the arrow's not pointing to the pot of gold, it's pointing to like the other side of the rainbow, like that's you, asshole. But it's like it's to me, I see that as you're not the like material goods, like you're the kind of like the potential, like you are here, like what's on the other side of the rainbow. If gold's over here, what's on the other side? So it's actually like really endearing message. And this party that was originally planned with the ex, who has since left him and thrown a more sophisticated party, pretending like it wasn't their idea to have this 80s party. I think he's hoping that this more crass and rambunctious love interest will come to the 80s party.
Oh, so they've been invited.
Yes.
Mm.
Excellent. All right. However, there is always an unforeseen element. Would you like me to roll again for you, Dave?
Yes, please.
Or I'm sorry, do you prefer David? My apologies.
All works.
Okay, here we go. 1 and a 6. Okay, so the second roll was a 6, which is the first roll was an unforeseen event related to the active agent's health or passive agent's health. And the high roll is a moment of miraculous recovery. i.e. from an illness or surgery or something to do with health. Also surrounds the photo.
They were at a party.
Okay. Now, do I ask someone else to share another number?
No, we're still the photo of the rainbow and the bunny girl that you've already established as what possibly would have happened. It now gets slightly reframed based on the event that also. It's like a moment of like, oh yeah, that also happened. This person also was recovering from, got out of hospice or something like that. And anyone can throw in ideas. Wow.
I'm getting the sense that the ex or the other person that the poet is hoping, the person that comes, they met during the recovery. That's some healing element to the other act. Let's call it the ex or the other person that the person. That's what but and there was an extended stay in the hospital, and then the ability to convey themselves effectively, not able to walk well. And this person, the other person, frequently had to put their arms around the poet, stabilize them to help them walk. And would catch them when they would stumble.
A physical therapist, probably. I can imagine. We'll say there's the X, fancy X, and then there's love interest. And the love interest is a physical therapist who was very kind but not gentle with the poet. like, come on, get up, you can do better, asshole. And he's like, are you allowed to like call me
Come
that?
on, asshole.
Tough love. This tough love actually helped him get better. He actually like didn't need to be babied. He needed to be told, get the fuck up. Like, and like that is like something that really drew him to her. And he invited her to this party, but there's like kind of this like professional thing where it's like, that's your physical therapist. It's not the same thing quite as like a therapist, like where are the lines? And so he doesn't know.
I mean, it could be as simple as during the time that they shared together.
Also feigned.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we have like a little bit of a lag situation. I'm just throwing in that maybe while he was getting physical therapy, she wore some kind of 80s themed thing. And it was just like, oh, I should invite her kind of and see what happens.
She just like, I did physical therapy a lot last year, and there's actually this really cute thing where the physical therapist would take turns choosing what music would like play in the physical therapy room. And I can imagine the love interest was just such a sucker for like cheesy 80s hits, but like genuinely did not consider them cheesy and actually would like defend them very ferociously and being like, this is a work of art. And just like explaining some of the like hackiest of 80s music. They're like, no, you don't understand. And in like their ranting and raving about like how like I don't know, this hair metal band song is like the deepest song ever. The poet got better, like, and just happened to want an 80s birthday party. I wonder why.
And I think the poet carries that card around, and he got the card, the asshole card, from the physical therapist when she realized he was much better, but he still kept faking some abilities to walk effectively.
Oh.
She would still catch him, and she would whisper in his ear every time she picked up on that, called him asshole.
Right, now another decision needs to be made here, since we've now introduced the physical therapist character. We have to establish their relationship to the poet. Loving, close, strained, or broken. This can be determined by you as the players, or it can be rolled randomly. It's up to the group.
Well, let's roll randomly.
So
I kind of like random.
I'm of two minds about it, so you can roll.
All right. I rolled a 5. Close.
Aw.
The relationship is close.
Yeah.
All right.
I
Let
think
us move on to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's definitely close, but there is like a strain in the fact that they want it to be closer but don't know if it should be because of how they met.
Mm.
All right, Sandra, over to you for the third and final round of the first full round of the game. Would you like to get one from David's 1 to 10 or Malachi's 1 to 20?
All right, I'm gonna even randomize this. Evens, David, odds, Malachi. Evens. All right, so how many did David have?
10.
10. I'm gonna go with number 5.
Number 5. This is a cassette tape on which the poet had recorded the song Rehab by Amy Winehouse.
Oh my god!
No way you
How?
wrote that down.
How? How?
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
It has mixed emotions for the poet from when he used to listen to it on a cassette player, listening to it now differently and hearing it differently.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, we can determine or roll for the time period.
Roll.
Yeah, definitely roll.
Roll. Okay. 3. This is still the middle period. And this is before the events of the party / rainbow card.
Oh.
To what degree before, that is up to you. This will age the character depending on how far before you do it.
Oh, okay.
Before, as in the first act, or just before the party in the second act?
Right, yeah. So this is a little bit hard to kind of visualize without a sort of player aid. What you can imagine is 3 distinct sections with like a kind of early, middle, and late. And right now we have 2 events happening in the end of the middle period, and now this is happening prior to that here. So there's still a space here. There's still 3 spaces here, but we've got the double event that happened at the end of the middle period.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Can I chime in?
Yeah,
Please.
I'm
yeah,
getting
go
the
for it.
sense that it is the event that triggered the health scare. It is something that put the poet into hospital, teeing up the meeting of the love interest, while the ex is still in the poet's life actively.
Okay, so building on that with one of my cards.
Discuss. And you have to play your motivation card as well, yes.
Yeah. So that all goes really well with this one. It became real obvious which card goes. So the poet's been with the girlfriend for a long time, and it's been one of those like I feel like she's used to wealthy things. She probably has wealth, and he's been living with her. So you get into one of those situations where, well, if I break up with her or she breaks up with me, I'm out on the street. So things have been getting worse and worse and worse with them. But the poet felt stuck in that relationship. And after one real big, like, I can't take this anymore kind of fight between them, he had a car accident. Just recklessly drove the car one of those nights like we all have when we have angsty teenage young adult feelings, and drove 90 down down a back road and slammed his car into a tree. And then that leads to the whole rehab angle and what to do with the girlfriend after that.
All right. Unforeseen event. Would you like to roll, Sandra?
No, go for it. Roll for me, Jay. Roll for me.
6 is the first roll, which is indicating the chorus. And the chorus, as an homage to sort of Greek drama, refers to an entity within the story that is just the world acting upon the actors that are in it. Or so it's, if your poet tends to be something of an artist or a musician, but the world that they're living is something that doesn't appreciate artists or the arts, then there might be some conflict there. So there's a connection between the poet himself and the world, i.e. the chorus. So this is something that is happening in the world outside of the direct emotions of the poet. And that thing is 4. This is a shift in point of view of the chorus. So there's something of a shift. Anyone living or concerned with modern politics today would indicate something of a large shift happening in sort of point of view in the polis, as it were. So something like that is happening in the background of this. Discuss.
I think that therapized talk has gotten very popular, especially like TikToks and Instagrams of like people throwing around big words like gaslight or trauma dump or things like that, like really willy-nilly. I mean, it could even be like a chat GPT situation, people like being therapized by their AI. And I think that this fancy girlfriend who, let's just face it, she's kind of a textbook narcissist. She has learned a lot of therapized speech and has been wielding this therapized speech against our poet in a way that the poet like does not know how to like counter, doesn't know how to like, because anytime they like defend themselves, or she's like, you're gaslighting me, like it's like, but I and I think it's, after one of these like very frustrating conversations that the driving down the road 90 miles per hour happened, because like they've always had fights, but now she has these new tools because of the trends of people not thinking critically about the brain and relationship.
Point of
And
clarity. So
so
wait, are the two is the physical therapist like is the one love interest, and then the other love interest, is this like a therapist like
no,
laid
no.
out
So the
two
fancy
therapists?
girlfriend, is not in therapy. She's not in therapy. She's like on ChatGPT, she's on Instagram, she's on TikTok, and she's like hoarding all of these ideas that are adjacent to therapy that aren't actually therapy, that only
I see.
support her toxic worldview, instead of like actually being checked and questioned and doing the deep like shadow work that therapy requires. Of course, she would never do that. So this is much easier and just makes our poet feel very small and insecure.
Aww. I just want to
Listening
give the
the
poet a
kind of
hug.
reckless driving, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just reach the
Yeah,
breaking
I'm not,
point.
this isn't relevant at all to my life. That's crazy. Why would you say that, Sandra? That's crazy.
I don't know. Just, we're writers and we write
Sandra-
ourselves on the page and write.
Sandra, David, anything to add?
Oh my God. I guess there has to be some element with the friends too in this, that like, the poet probably tried to confide in some of the friends, and the friends fed the information back to her too, which just made that whole dynamic even worse and worse and worse until reaching that breaking point. And that's why the friends don't show up to the party in the end and choose her, because they've been kind of sided with her the whole time. I mean, makes sense, right? If she's a narcissist,
Yeah.
you know, she would have all the friends under her
Who
thumb
has
too.
money?
And the money. The
Narcissist
money's
who has money.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this poor poet didn't stand a
And
chance.
I think she found the. I think the fancy girlfriend found the asshole card in the poet's pocket. Wants to know who it's from. He
Yeah.
will not tell her that pisses her off to no end.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Lovely.
damn. Oh, damn.
All right, so we've reached the end of a full round. What that leads to now is one of the big kind of act breaks, essentially, which in the game are called narrative crossroads. And now, collectively, you have another determination to make. This is where you can introduce a genre element to the game. The potential genres that are in the game at the moment are fantasy, romance, horror, mystery, comedy, adventure. Or you can keep out of the genre game and just continue telling the story that you're telling, which seems to be a kind of sordid relationship drama. Or you can randomize it. So have a chat together.
Randomize.
I know. I love randomizing it. It just changes so much.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The thing about the randomization factor is it excludes it being a straightforward non-genre specific story. It will lead you into a genre element.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
2. Oh, that's a bit on the nose. Romance.
No. Again.
Roll again. Roll again.
Aliens.
You want aliens? I rolled another 2. Yeah.
Oh,
Malachi,
fine,
this dice is
fine.
broken. Roll a dice for me,
No,
Malachi.
the dice tell a story. Whatever. You know what? Whatever. It's fine. The
It
dice
spoke
tell
twice.
a story. Yeah,
Yeah,
I will.
I rolled 2 2s. It seems Destiny's trying to push it that way. I'm not sure. Yeah.
And I am Destiny's Child. So, let's see. However, okay, fine. It's romance, but no one says like it has to be human. Maybe we can throw a
subgenre?
plot twist in this romance.
Yes. So what happens when
Maybe
you've determined
like
a? Pardon me. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, did he survive the car crash? Like,
Right.
is this all like did some like I'm thinking like time compression things are happening, like fractal reality things are happening right now. That's all I got right now. But like
Mhm.
maybe some parallel live day massive hallucination things are happening. Who knows? And he might wake up in one reality or another. That's where I'm pushing. If I have to
Yes,
do
do not
romance.
exclude subgenres within the greater genre element, right? So this is a a romance story, but as a lot of modern day storytelling has been including this sort of genre fluidness where it's not necessarily just one thing. So what one does when going down the narrative crossroad here is you draw one of the cards out of the deck that then gives you a prompt at part of this act break that is a pivotal moment. So this pivotal moment refers to either a kind of meet cute scene or an emotional lack or another need established. All right. And the particular card that you get, I will kind of randomize this. Maybe just tell me, just say stop.
Stop.
Okay. That one. It is the King of Diamonds, which is a terminal disease or sickness. It's very in line with the story that you're already telling. So now this doesn't necessarily have to be connected to the disease that you've already established via the therapy and car crash. This could have been something prior in the poet's youth of a parent getting ill. That's the kind of set standard for this type of recurring life decision, but go with it what you will. This is the prompt that is meant to be a kind of pivotal moment that you can place anywhere on the timeline.
Is that something that can affect the love interest?
it can affect anyone. This is not beholden to a particular agent or passive agent. It's up to you.
Okay.
Discuss.
Okay. I'm of two minds. One, because I'm desperate to speculative this fiction. Yeah, because yeah. Part of me. So part of me wonders if if I'm picturing this story. I often picture things like visually, like watching a movie, like for for so long in our tale thus far, it has seemed like such straightforward romance. Like, the physical therapist taking care of him, all this stuff, da 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 da. They form a bond. Narcissistic girlfriend gets angry, da 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 da. But I'm kind of wondering if, like, this is almost like the disease is almost what's the word, being spread through. Okay, why not, being spread through this kind of like digital, almost like therapizing, like thought process. Like like it's a virus, but it's like a virus that's entering people via
Oof.
like the technology, and like these, and like
Via the
almost
code.
like taking over the brain. And so at first, what just seems like a normal, like, toxic girlfriend breakup, shit like that keeps happening in like really extreme ways, more and more and more. But because like bec- because our protagonist, our poet, is like so maybe adverse to tech stuff, and then our physical therapist is so like wrapped up in like 80s nostalgia, like is not into contemporary tech
Clearly has
stuff,
a Walkman
they
still.
haven't been infected by this. Yeah, like she's like everything sounds better. This Walkman. They haven't been affected by this like almost like hypnotism, zombie-esque virus that is going around, through changing everybody's minds and their thought process through social media, AI, etc. We're workshopping this, but that's what comes to my brain.
I mean, the accident could have been a hard reset too, because he'd be away from that technology while recovering, and then all of a sudden he starts realizing,
Yes.
oh, it's been this all along. It's this all along. So yeah, I could totally see how he'd wind up being in the old, like, influenced world, and then coming to have a moment of clarity while recovering. So that totally tracks. But that almost makes me wonder, like, once he starts to realize that there is a problem or there is a thing out there, like, does he pick up a phone again once he's better and then starts reverting? Does he have that push pull between going back to the old girlfriend or staying or pursuing the physical therapist side of it? And this really comes down to fighting the one evil over here, or seeking love over here, and then that's the tension pull right now.
I think
So
he and the love
go ahead, Dave.
interest communicate in an analog way through handwriting,
Ooh.
written notes, and cards. They cannot get infected that way because technology is not involved.
Yeah. And I think it's like not just like technology. Like he can like talk on the phone with her, but it's like watching these videos. It's like what, or like talking with the AI. It's like there has to be some sort of ingestion, and he's like he's never had a stomach for it, and like physical therapist like definitely doesn't have a stomach for it. You know, she listens to the same CDs or same cassettes over and over and over again.
She's got a Walkman, like one of those yellow Walkman.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, she's holding the boom box like outside of the house. And I think
Anything.
yeah. And I think shit starts getting weird enough that she ends up, let's just say we have a scene in place, which is this party. She ends up coming to the party, but she's like comes in really distressed, and she like takes him out to the side and like I don't know, they go in like the broom closet of like the place that he's rented out. And he's like, what's going on? And she's
balloons.
like, yeah. He's like, do you trust me? And he's like, yes. And she's like, zombies. And he's like, what? He's like,
tech zombies.
like, no, I was like, I was hearing about what you were saying about your ex, and then this happened, and you seem to be one of the only people who's like seeing this too. Like, we have to do something. And of course, like, what's that cult classic film, They Live? Where you like put on the glasses.
Put on the sunglasses. Put on the
Yes.
That is her favorite movie. That's her favorite movie. And she's like, dude, it is a They Live situation.
Obey.
What if the party may not be a party? Maybe it's some type of funeral.
Funeral? Deep
Funeral.
programming situation.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
they're going to. I do feel like this like 80s aesthetic is going to come into play, and it's going to be. They're going to have to like utilize some sort of like analog aesthetic and technology to counter this somehow. Definitely, that's a part of it.
do they want to save the world?
The
Or do
band
they
that's
want
saying
it to
final
stay the
countdown.
same? Or does he want the world to
does.
stay the same? She does.
She wants
Well,
to
we don't
save
need
the
to-
world.
This is only the first pivot. You know, don't just to draw you back a little bit. I want to
Okay.
establish a few more
You
things
gotta
that I
rein me
skipped
in,
over
dude.
from the rule book. Yes. So
Heard the cats.
to remember the premise of the game is that it is the three of you, the fictionalized you, Sandra, Malachi, and David, who are finding this box right now and going through it and remembering this person, the poet, who we haven't given a name yet, who is related to you, the fictional you. Right? Like how some RPG games have a situation where it's a zombie apocalypse game that you start off and says the things that you have right now are the things that your character has. How do you survive? Where do you go? You start the game as if you're starting to play a role-play game, and the zombie infection happens, you have to leave. What you've now just done is created a world in which all three of you live, including the poet, that has an infective AI virus that you three could potentially be infected with, by the way. So just keep that in mind as we move forward. Okay.
Ooh.
So this is all in remembrance, and maybe. All right. So do we do one more sweep? Is everyone time allowed? I don't think we have enough time because usually like a good role playing game does take about 3 to 4 hours. We haven't gotten to any of Malachi's problems, which I feel a little bit bad for.
That's okay. Yeah, I could do one more. I think like y'all are on the West Coast. I'm on the East Coast.
Right.
So it's a little later.
And we started a half hour later than we
So,
intended.
You know. Yeah. You know, but we could do like a part 2 later or something.
Yeah, let's do one more then. Let's do one more that uses one of
We'll do one
Malachi's
more.
prompts, and I think that could be like this. It would be the start of the next act, essentially.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So, well, it actually is back to you, Malachi. So, why don't you randomly roll a d20 if you have one, because you have 20 prompts to choose one of the prompts that you have, and this would be the start of the next scene. We've now established the speculative fiction element within the world of romance. What is the next memory?
Yes. 10 right in the middle. Who's 10? So I wrote very chaotically in my sketchbook.
That's how you got to 20.
Yeah. So it's a little ominous. But I wrote eyes everywhere.
Ooh.
And uh and then the modifier note that I put in was like on a diary. So I'm also a visual artist, and I'm the kind of visual artist that when I was like a teen, honestly me now, I just would draw eyes on everything. So it's like the diary with eyes drawn like all over it.
Ooh.
Oh, very cool. You would also, all three of you, have gotten a new card because right now you have only one left for your motivations. Here is your new one, Malachi, since this will be
Okay.
the last turn of the game. All right, so you would play a card. Well, first we have to establish the time period. So please roll 2d6.
4 4.
Right, it's the same middle period. This is happening at the
Wow.
same time as the rehab.
Whoa.
And that's all filled. If you had rolled that again, it would bump before or after at that point. But everything seems to be happening at that moment. So this is before the party, but at the same time as the car wreck.
Mm.
So that 5 of diamonds is the belonging, alienation, purpose, esteem, commitment. I think this plays nicely into the idea that I was kind of forming earlier. That like again in like the first act of this, it's seeming like straightforward rom-com vibes. But here comes the purpose. Here comes the shift. And it's this quirky 80s obsessed physical therapist who has memorized They Live, honestly, knows every every line of that movie, and is honestly hyped that she's seeing like this thing take over because she's like, I have prepared for this. I've seen all of the 80s hero movies. I'm ready. Um, and
So the
he's a
journal of
passive
eyes
person.
belongs to the therapist and is in the box of the therapist.
Yes, I think she's like, I've created a plan, and like hands him this diary.
Ooh.
And it's like has the steps in it of like this. I've watched every movie. This is what we need to do. Step one, and then that montage happens.
So here's an interesting
So, but
twist.
he's go ahead.
We know that the girlfriend that he's with at the time of the accident is wealthy, right? What if her family's involved with this virus? Which could then either mean he's starting to wonder things, maybe she caused the accident, or conversely, the therapist is just a physical therapist while looking into these things. But what if she was almost targeting him because he's got a connection to the family who introduced the virus? There's some fun little crinkles we could play in here, depending on who the actual girlfriend is.
Yes, I really like that idea of the ex-girlfriend being connected. Um, I like that a lot. I think it's like I think it's one of those things where like she shows him like a newspaper and she's like, see, it's the Montgomery family. He's like, Montgomery family? Oh, that's Sasha's family. And she's like, are you serious? I feel like this is destiny, dude. Do you not? This is the hero's journey. This is your calling. And he's super passive. He's like, no, no, thank you. No, thank you to the hero's journey. Just like, no, dude, like this is it. This is your moment. Like, fuck. So I think
So,
that's what's going on.
and based on your timeline, this is happening. She's writing this journal at the same time when he's crashing out based on
Yeah.
the previous ex, gets into the car. They meet in rehab. She passes the journal on to him later on, and then it finds its way into the shoebox somewhere down the line. Yeah. Dave,
Yeah.
anything to add?
Is she figuring out that the accident was caused by Nancy girlfriend? Nancy love
An
interest?
e-car.
An e-car. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Car
It's
with
like
a cassette player in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and was the accident caused because the family realized that did not participate sufficiently to be infected with virus.
Mm.
I think the physical therapist, has her suspicions that the accident which brought the physical therapist, the poet together, was caused by fancy girlfriend, the fancy love interest, fancy girlfriend. So what does that do? Is she upset about that? Does her love extend? Does the therapist's love extend to him like he extends from him to her? Does she feel the same way? Or is she just seeing him as a patient and as a mission?
I feel like initially it would have to be that. There'd have to be some time before you start connecting the dots of who the girlfriend is. Like just a stray statement here and a stray seeing the jelly bracelets on the therapist's and like, they would have had to go through multiple sessions and then just little bits just leak out, right? Until they start putting things together. Yeah, scrunchies.
Yeah.
Scrunchies.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, Malachi, please
go ahead. No, you go.
Well, please roll for your unforeseen event.
Oh
Please roll
no!
2d6.
1. Oh, that's cocked. Hold on. 3. 1, 3.
Oh.
Substance abuse.
Oh no!
Is also related to this journal being read. So if you've established the active agent being the therapist who wrote the journal, then the substance abuse has to deal with the therapist actually, i.e. being an alcoholic or whatever. She took acid that gave her the idea that brought this journal into being or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like to add some like layers of nuance to everything, I kind of like this story having a I like the idea of this story like starting straightforward romance, seeming like, oh, we're going like a quirky sci-fi route, but then that almost being like unreliable narrator. Like, wait, is this quirky sci-fi or is this like paranoia plus hallucinations? Is this a passive guy being like taken in by someone who has a very active imagination? And I could see like a pivoting point of like she comes to the party, takes it out the party, takes it to her place. She's like, it's not safe here. She's like, we're gonna go to my house where I've put like aluminum foil, everything. And he goes there and he sees like maybe a full bottle of like a medication that like would be taken to suppress hallucinations, like maybe she experiences schizophrenia or something like that. And he like sees, and the abuse is not that she takes drugs or takes pills, it's what she's not taking. She's like not taking her meds. And she's like, I stopped because like it makes it so much harder to think. Like it's so like, and then when you started telling me all this stuff, like shit started making sense. And then we kind of have an unreliable narrator situation where we're like, wait, is this really happening or is this not? And then I think he has a choice within himself to be like, well, this means a lot to her and I really like her. So I think in order to get with her, I have to play along. And then it's like, like he starts, is this enabling her or or is she cracked it all along? And I think for like the second half, we don't know.
Yeah. I love it. Oh, there's so many twists and turns in this. Oh.
Dave, any final words?
I like that. I just think he is now torn and spends Act 2 trying to move through life, through their world, but figure out if she's quote unquote normal or messed up, or is this drug induced hallucinations?
Yeah. Right. So now to put this like to kind of bring us back to reality here a little bit, what you can imagine if you were playing this game is it to be the three of you sitting around this box that you've made with drawing these things out, telling these stories connected to this individual who, because of the physical object in the room with you, kind of exists out there in the world, that as you get closer to the late period, gets closer and closer to you getting that box and then going through it, you might be able to start discussing that, oh, all these elements in this box seem to be related to this idea of an AI virus or hallucination. Were they just writing coded messages back to each other about substance abuse / like this hallucinogenic thing, or does it actually exist in the world, which would then lead to one more sweep of cards, another act break, a final sweep of cards to the final act break, which then all the players then have to determine how these characters are either related some way to you. So who is the poet? Is the poet you? Is the therapist Sandra, or the physical therapist Malachi, or in poet the poet David or something? And you guys are just and you have this moment that we have been infected by this AI hallucination that we're just realizing now because this therapist left the box for us to rediscover our old selves, Shutter Island style or whatever, and that brings it all back and then would bring the story to a close. And so I guess I should just say to our 3 playtesters, Sandra included, thank you so much for being a part of this. I hope you enjoyed the experience. I hope you could see where the things that we still, like, this was very central loaded just based on the random dice. We still have all the backstory and then all the things leading up to the moment of opening the box and discovering it that lead to a epic, hopefully, conclusion. I think in this story it definitely would be.
Thanks so much for having me. It was a blast.
A lot of fun.
Yay,
thank you
authors.
guys, and thank you to anyone that may be watching this live stream out there. Any questions or comments, please send us an email or shoot us a line on the 3RPG podcast. Till then, we still have 10 more days to the Kickstarter. Anyone interested, please, we'd love your backing. Thank you very much to all the backers there. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.